It is the Riot Podcast, a wonderful Giving Tuesday to you. That's right. Today, Giving Tuesday on the show. Now, in the podcast, you probably not pick up on that too much, but you should hear it here that today, if you're listening to this on Tuesday, November 29th of 2022, is a day of worldwide giving, especially after Cyber Monday, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, all important days. But all days where you probably wind up spending a few bucks on yourself and others. Giving Tuesday is a day about spending a few bucks on causes and nonprofits, organizations that are making a difference that matter too. Not stuff where you buy stuff, but where you give to make sure that we can keep doing what we do. So that's what Giving Tuesday is all about. And you can find out more at RadioU.com.
Yes.
Thank you for your agreement.
Hey, there's only so much I
agree.
can add.
I agree.
As you can tell, Nikki is still dealing with, you were diagnosed with acute laryngitis.
Acute laryngitis, and then I have a nose spray and a big pill.
A big pill,
Big
huh?
pill.
So
I'm glad you talked to a doctor so I could find out what I had 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's very helpful for me to know now.
it could be, mine just got worse with the laryngitis, but they were like, hey, just don't talk for 3 to 5 days. And I told her, I was like, well,
My job, on the other hand,
Yeah.
and she's like, no, just rest your voice. And I said, I'll try.
Now, how long again would you say you've had it? Where, because obviously you were off for Thanksgiving. How long?
I had it since I left, so I've had it for a week and a half.
And your voice has sounded like
Not
this the whole
this
time.
bad.
Okay.
No, it got real bad when I got back.
That's crazy.
she sounds
Then
terrible.
Have you been yelling? Were you yelling the whole time you weren't here?
No, but I left before my vacation because I had a family emergency.
Yeah.
And there was so much I didn't sleep for days. And,
Stress.
there was a lot, and I think
Yeah.
all that stress just made everything kind of get worse.
That's
so.
that's probably right.
wasn't
Makes it
this-
harder to heal.
This is not from going to the beach.
Yeah, oddly enough. I didn't get this by relaxing. It's this
No.
weird thing.
I didn't get to relax, which is
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
So.
So today on the podcast, one of the things we talked about as we're getting ready for the holiday season is how long you can hang out before you're overstaying your welcome at either a friend's or family members.
Now, how does this work for you guys? I never just go to somebody's house without agreeing with them first upon
Some
how
of the
long.
rules?
Yeah, like how long it's going to be. I don't just go and stay and just spring that upon them or be like, yeah, I'll be there for Christmas and I'll leave. We'll figure it out. It's always firmly agreed upon. This is the arrival day. This is the leaving day. It's very set. But I guess other people don't do that.
Maybe people who don't have jobs, maybe. Because at some point you're going to have to go back to work.
That's
At least
right.
that's how it works for me. I don't
You
know.
can't keep riding the couch.
Yeah.
If you're going home with your parents, I think they probably don't mind you staying longer and they
Yeah.
know your schedule. But if you're going to a relative you're not as familiar with, they need to know.
They're like,
Yeah.
get the heck out of here.
And I guess it's true too. I'm always thinking of it like the way life is now for me is like everything is through vacation time and jobs and whatever. But if you've got like winter break or
Yeah,
whatever,
you go home.
then you've got several weeks and maybe you can space that out among different places. But we tell you how long is overstaying your welcome, and so it might be, if you're thinking of it in that term, might be shorter than you think.
I think it for sure is.
Yeah.
We also talked about some of the signs that your dog could give you to save you from your partner cheating on you, or actually to let you know that your partner's already cheating on you.
Yeah, it's too late. It's if the dog's giving you these signs, then it's too late. There's nothing that can be done.
So we call him a man's best friend. What they say. Me and Jim, the duo.
What do you guys think? I raised the question. We didn't really answer it, but do you think I always hate bringing up the stories about like this is a sign your relationship could be in trouble. But is it better to know and be aware? Is it better for me to raise those concerns so that you can do something about it?
Well,
or should I just not bring it up because then it makes you worry unnecessarily sometimes?
Hang on. Let me clear my throat. I think if you're worried about it, then that means there was problems anyway. So it's nice to have someone remind you that you should be looking for signs if you're worried, so that you're not just oblivious.
Yeah, and when we bring it up then, and if you're still in that relationship, you have no excuse.
And it's
Don't
good
blame
sometimes
us.
coming
Yeah.
from a friend.
That's right.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
is right. We
So if
just
your
want
dog tells you.
we and your dog. We just want the best for you. We don't want you to. We don't want you to get more hurt than is necessary.
Blindsided out of nowhere.
And you're taking the dog.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
And you know
if the
what?
dog lets you know, you get to keep it.
This is clearly my dog at this point. You don't get to keep him. We talked about that. We also talked about how if you're thinking about buying a Christmas tree for this year, a real one, you might want to get on it a little bit quicker than you think.
This is stories that come out every year around this time.
To push you to go get
telling
them.
you that you need to get your tree now, as if anybody waits on a real tree until. I know some people do it like right at the very end, right? But that's like a tradition. You're going to do that anyways. I think most people either you do it this week, like this past Black Friday, or you don't really care. You know what I mean? But I did see a lot of people surprisingly doing a lot of driving this weekend. A lot of people with the tree strapped to the top of their car. So maybe real trees are making a comeback.
And I always are reminded of the lady I saw 2 days after Christmas returning her Christmas tree to Costco.
Oh,
the real Christmas tree.
Savage.
I mean, like, who does that?
That is messed up.
When they raise the price of a hot dog, we blame that lady.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good show today. And we appreciate Nikki coming in here and toughing it out, even though she can't do a whole lot of talking.
I'll be like this for a few more days.
Well, if you just rest your voice.
Yeah, if you would just take a day off. But she couldn't for Giving Tuesday.
No,
she had to be here.
I'll still be in tomorrow, but I just have to be quiet.
All right. Okay.
Kind of like it this way. I'm starting to get used to it. All of a
the new
sudden,
show.
that's so great.
Thank
when you
you,
actually
Isaiah.
can talk, we won't be able to get her to shut up.
I know.
All right. Well, happy Giving Tuesday, and we'll catch you next time.
Hi, guys.
Don't say we didn't warn you. This is the worst of the riot.
Now, with Christmas, Christmas is coming up so quickly. And first of all, I want to disclose at the top that my father now works for a Christmas tree farm. So it is not in his best interest to discourage you from buying a real Christmas tree. But here we go. It is the time of year where we're being told, and we get told this every year, that this was a really bad year for growing Christmas trees. There's a real shortage. Prices are going up, and you want to buy now.
Really? I don't know if I believe
I'm
him.
being told. That is what I'm seeing here from the real Christmas tree lobby, where they have said that there was some significant drought. Okay, that's undebatable. It was the third warmest summer on record in Oregon and Washington State. Those are big Christmas tree producing states, okay? And there's only like 28 others that also produce Christmas trees. So you can understand how that might cause a shortage. But listen to this as well. Also, 59% of the Northeast reported abnormally dry conditions, and 24% in August, 24% of drought in August. So there was a little bit of a little bit of weather issues that could be slowing down Christmas tree production.
Well, they
all right.
said the biggest thing was the heat.
Yeah, made it a little too hot. It made the Christmas trees sweat a little bit. So listen to this. One Pennsylvania farm lost 10% of its newly planted trees.
Is that so?
10% of the trees. That's a big shortage, right?
That's a large shortage.
That sounds like a big shortage. So what they're saying here in this article here from the New York Post is tree prices are going to be higher, and that's because of a shortage of trees and because of inflation, and that you want to buy your tree now because you're not sure. You might not be sure if you wait a week or two. You don't know what could happen. They might run out of trees.
I feel like they're just trying to get you to go.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sometimes.
Because my question is, because I'm no expert at trees, but so like all this weather stuff obviously killed some of the new trees they had just planted.
10%.
No, the ones that were growing.
The ones that were growing.
10%.
It takes 8 to 12 years.
That's what I was gonna say.
For a tree.
Because these trees were planted years ago, and so all of a sudden they just aren't there anymore.
One bad year kills a tree.
Yeah.
It has to be a pretty bad year.
It has to be a terrible year, I would think.
I think every year, here's what, like, I almost feel bad relaying this information to you.
Yeah, let's hear
because
it.
they can pop a few weather statistics. Oh, it was a little hot in Oregon and Washington. Pop a few weather statistics in there like that. And then us dopes, we're like, Oh, I understand. That would make the Christmas tree production go down. I should go get my real tree now. I don't want to get a dry, old one that's all decrepit. But the truth is, there's plenty of Christmas trees to go around. If you usually wait until December 20th to buy your real tree, you wait till December 20th. They're just trying to drive up demand. Or you know what's always available? Artificial trees.
The fake trees.
Yeah.
Which I feel like more people are leaning towards nowadays.
I think so, too. I think much maybe to my father's chagrin as he works his new job at a Christmas tree farm, the real Christmas trees are just, losing out left and right to the artificial tree.
Yeah, like growing up, we always went and got a real one. But like now, I think we always do a fake one because I don't live at home anymore. Are you rolling natty or fake?
Oh, I'm going fake.
You're going fake?
Yeah.
Jeez, you're not going to go see your dad and go get a tree from him?
You know what?
Can you get a free tree?
You'd think you probably could.
Yeah, I could get a free tree, and then I'd have 2 trees.
Okay.
Then I still wouldn't pay for the real one.
We just can't take care of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and it's a big expense, and they might just disappear. It looks like, according to the weather
Might not even
reports.
be a good one.
Yeah, that's right. So
Be a little dry.
Hey, if you want to support the Christmas tree lobby and you want to support my father, you got to get a real tree sooner than later. But you could also just do things the way you normally would. Buy a tree later, buy an artificial tree. Just do what you want to do. But at least I presented you with the information so you can make an informed choice on this Giving Tuesday. You can help out RadioU at RadioU.com or by calling 8772-RADIO-U.
Or help the trees.
Or help the trees. No, that's Arbor Day.
Okay.
This is RadioU's Worst of the Riot.
Now, I don't know what it is, but I always just assume that people at their jobs, they're doing the right thing. Especially when you think of like high profile jobs, the people are putting in their best effort and they're doing, when you're doing like research on stuff, you're doing the right thing. You're doing it the way it's supposed to be done. Maybe that's just because that's the way I am, where I put so much effort. I dot every I, cross every
Are we
T.
sure about that, Isaiah?
Never.
I'm not so sure.
Any stone unturned that could, throw a monkey wrench into the operation. I'm always by the book.
Just Mr. Honest.
Yes,
I
Mr.
lie on here every
Honest.
single day.
Everything is backed up. Like I chronicle and every single thing, every move I ever make to, for accountability. And yet, it always surprises me when I find out that other people aren't doing that. Even up as high as Japan's version of NASA. They call it the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency, or JAXA for short. They have just found out that one of their teams of researchers fabricated the results of an experiment led by one of their astronauts. And the experiment was supposed to simulate what daily life on board the International Space Station would be like, and they made stuff up for it.
Well,
They just lied?
What would it be like if you lied in space?
Yeah, that's right. If you were filling out the reports in
Daily lying,
space,
yeah,
you wouldn't be putting in your best effort, even though you have nothing else. There's no distractions in space. It's not like you have to get out of work early so you can go to a concert or something. You're just up there and you're stuck up there, and yet you would still lie because it's still work. And that's what they did. Isn't that crazy? That feels like that could have some really big implications. You making stuff up on a report about what it would be like to live in space, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, we talked about recently about how I'm not that big of a supporter of NASA, right? And so for them over there, like, what do you do about your funding? Like, when your research is just fake and you're being funded by who? Probably the people that live every single day.
The taxpayers.
The taxpayers that are just paying for the JAXA or whatever it's called. I feel like, if it's me and they're just putting up fake research, then why am I giving you any money every single month? That makes no sense.
I mean, you're right. I don't know what.
What do they have to say for themselves? They should be embarrassed.
It was $1.4 million.
$1.4 million.
For the study, yeah.
That's insane.
Somebody can pay me $1.4 million to make stuff up about space.
That's why they're lying.
I'd be happy to do it. I can write. So today what would it be like to live daily life on the International Space Station? Probably be like a lot of floating. a lot of floating involved.
Today, my stomach was hurting a bit. I had a slight headache.
A lot of lazily wafting through space.
Maybe they're trying to make it sound like way cooler in space, trying to get their funding up, so they made like the reports like crazy of what was happening every single day, when in reality, he was just laying there every single day, not doing anything.
Yeah, well, you know what the crazy part is? You might think that lying on such an important project, too, because this could cost, we're talking about space here. It could cost people's lives, couldn't it? If he makes stuff up and it's like, oh, you wouldn't need to eat oranges in space. That's not important. That's what we found in our research, our fake research. And then you get up to space and it turns out it is important to eat oranges or else you die. It feels like it could be important. And yet, even after this big secret was found out, the astronaut is still going to get to go to the space station next year.
No, he's not.
It feels like that'd be an appropriate punishment.
He should be fired.
He should.
Well, it's part of my voice, guys. They said that technically he was not the one who lied. It was the researchers working with him.
But wasn't he?
Did he know?
Listen,
They're not saying.
He's the head of the department. The buck stops there,
so
right?
he's been reprimanded, but...
What is he?
What a slap on the wrist.
What is he? Aaron Rodgers? He's going to pass the blame to everybody else on his team except himself?
I'm just telling you what they're doing.
Yeah, well, maybe him going to the space station is the punishment.
Send him back up there.
Yeah, you're like, you think you don't need to eat oranges
He's being
in space?
annexed. Send him
Why
up.
don't you go find out for yourself? Fake this.
Go by yourself.
This is The Riot. RadioU.
Okay, the holidays are coming up. Nikki.
Hoop-de-doo.
Yeah,
Or
that's
whatever you
right.
say.
That's right.
Hoop-de-doo.
It's the holiday season. Hoop-de-doo, as the great Andy Williams would say. Did you spend any time sleeping over at family's house, either you guys, over the holiday, like Thanksgiving?
I did not.
There, but not sleeping over.
Not sleeping over.
I did not.
Okay. Do you have any plans to do so for Christmas?
Probably about the same.
Probably you'll go, but you're
But
not
not
staying the
stay
night.
over.
Same.
Okay. That's a good plan because I have a new survey here about having house guests during the holiday season. Hoop-de-doo. And
No one wants them.
what they found was, for one, whether it's while your guests are there or leading up to when you know you've got company coming, apparently people lose a lot of sleep over that. Specifically, about 2.5 hours of sleep people say they lose per day when preparing to have other people come over for the holidays. Because you got to get the house all clean, you got to bake cookies and get the food ready to go. I don't know. Does that eat into your sleep schedule? Isaiah, you have a lot of people over.
No, I would lean no.
But maybe that's because you have people over so regularly, you're just always
He's more
prepared.
used to it.
Yeah, this past weekend, I had 2 friends who stayed pretty much at my house the whole weekend, Friday and Saturday. And, I didn't lose any sleep.
Nikki,
I might have gotten more sleep, actually.
if it was announced that Isaiah and I are coming over to stay the night,
How
much sleep would you lose?
I would just be worried.
She's like, I wouldn't clean the house or anything.
Sleep. You'd just be concerned.
Well, I'm concerned, and then I'm concerned how my dogs will act, how it would go. Will you have
I think your
fun?
dogs are the least of your worries.
So,
when it comes to Isaiah and I.
I could be worried.
They also found that specifically Gen Z says they would lose even more sleep. 4 hours of sleep would be lost preparing for guests. So I don't know. I guess Gen Z.
Who the heck is Gen Z? Is that me?
Yeah, I think you're Gen Z.
No, you bunch of drama queens. You guys are ridiculous.
They also found that if you're looking for the sweet spot of how long to stay or how long to have somebody over, it seems that you want to cut things off at 4 days.
That's it.
That seems
4
a little
days
long.
is the max. I think that's right. I don't know. I feel like that's right for. It does feel long.
It doesn't feel kind of long?
If you're spending, it definitely depends who it's with, right?
And where you're traveling from and stuff. Because if you're coming from far away, obviously, if you flew somewhere, you want to get your money's worth, be there for multiple days. But if you're within an hour or so, maybe 2 hours, 4 days seems like a long time.
Yeah, at some point, it's just why don't you go home and get back to your own bed?
I can see you sometime soon if you want.
Yeah, that's true. No, but I think a lot of people do travel longer distances for the holidays, and so that it's that balance of if you do go over 4 days, then it starts to feel excessive. You start to get tired of each other.
You start getting a little bit too comfy in my house.
It's weird how you get. What I find is when you're not in your own home, you get board so much easier.
Yeah.
You feel like you're supposed to be out doing stuff, but then the people that are in charge, like the people that are hosting you, they're just at their house, so they don't have that same gumption to go out and do things. So all of a sudden you're bored. So yeah, 4 days feels like cut off. But then if you're flying again, it feels like you want to get your money's worth. You want to have a nice long stay.
I know no one wants to spend money, but you just have to stay at a hotel.
That's right. Oh, everybody will be happier. You're absolutely right about that. The last thing is that they find that it's hard to get on the same schedule with people that you're staying with, or if people stay over. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
It's so difficult that they're waking up at like 5 a.m. Meanwhile, you just want to sleep till 10, and you can now. I feel like no matter how long you stay with somebody, like for the holidays, I don't think everybody gets on the same page with like when you're waking up, when you want to go to bed. That's a hard one to juggle.
Yeah, it's not an easy one, especially when it comes to people's sleep. That's important to them. And so if you're the one keeping everybody up late when they want to go to bed, people are going to be upset with you. And if you're the one who's waking up at 5 a.m. trying to wake me up, I'm going to be real upset with you.
And a lot of times what happens during the holidays, you're sleeping on like a couch, a futon in a common area.
You can't avoid people in the living room.
The first person that means you're always the second person to wake up.
Yep.
No matter what time of day the first person up is. So I don't know, kind of makes you want to do what Nikki said, just get a hotel for the holiday or not have anybody over.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
Let's talk about relationships. I hate to when I have to do this, to bring up things that that might alert you to issues with the relationship you're currently in. I just don't want to make anybody nervous, but at the same time, right? What do you guys think? Is it better to be blissfully ignorant of a partner's infidelity, or for me to put you on edge and maybe your partner isn't cheating, but I'm giving you worry about it? Because I guess that's what we're gonna do here. If you are a dog owner, you or your partner is a dog owner, you're gonna want to listen up, because I have here info that says your dog could tip you off to possible cheating going on in the relationship. Basically, what I have here from a dog behavior expert, her name is Anna Webb. She says the dogs they're really good at reading your facial expressions, and they're also, of course, they have a great sense of smell, and so they will react sometimes to you or your partner if one of you guys is doing something because of the smell. Primarily, they will react differently than they might have previously before any cheating was going on.
So at first I thought you meant like if your dog was,
dog's having an affair?
No, like your dog had other like doggy parents.
Oh.
The dog is running off. Where does Fluffy go every night? That's a cat name. That's
they're just going to get food from somewhere else.
Right. It's weird that Jim seems to disappear
for whatever reason
every night, doesn't he?
Well,
between the hours of midnight and 2 a.m.
Again, sorry for my voice, guys, but cats have been known to do that. They'll have like other families.
Oh, if they're outdoor cats.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
Greedy sons of guns.
No, I'm talking about if you're dating, if you're in a committed relationship with somebody, or at least so it seems, but somebody isn't as committed as maybe they're putting forth, your dog may let you know. Basically, they say the signs to look for is if your dog, let's say, runs away from your partner when they haven't done that previously. If they kind of seem to want to avoid them more than they previously have, that could be a sign. Also, if your dog becomes very submissive around them, that may also be a sign that something is amiss in the relationship, because again, they're reacting to possibly different smells that they're picking up on that they're not familiar with normally, or that they associate with like somebody that's coming around that's not that hasn't normally been coming around. So I don't know. I feel like it's very vague what this person is telling us. That basically, if your dog's I guess it's good advice if your dog is acting different suddenly around the person you're going out with,
It might be.
and they haven't been before, that could be a sign that something weird is going on, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, either that or maybe your partner may have someone new at work, maybe a new worker they're around, or maybe they went to Kroger today and they bumped into somebody new and they came home and you're like, oh my goodness, old Chi-Chi, or whatever the dog's name is, not hanging out with her like he used to.
You're saying don't jump ahead on
I
that.
don't think so because there's so many smells. There's so many smells.
There's a lot of smells. But what, maybe, okay, you don't want to accuse your partner of cheating just based off of the dog's behavior, but it also...
I think you should, actually. I've changed my stance. I want you to.
Now you're out here ruining relationships. I think if your dog seems to be acting weird, this is an easier sign for you to watch for that what may also make you more attuned to watch for other signs that may lead you to finding out, possibly, if something is going wrong.
You should get your dog to look through their phone.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
That's next.
And
swap the phone.
I think you could also be maybe you could start to get a little nervous if you're thinking, because a lot of people like to get dogs for the holiday. It's like this will be our couple's gift to ourselves if we'll get a dog. And if your partner's like, well, I don't know.
I'm not so sure about
this.
I don't know if we're quite there yet. I don't know if we're there.
Do you really need that puppy in here sniffing around and
Just
everything?
doesn't seem like a
getting
good
up in
idea.
our business.
They're always so nosy.
They're always around. I don't know. That could be a sign that maybe also something is amiss.
Jump the gun.
Just keep that in mind.
Thanks for watching the worst of the riot. Since you made it this far, you might as well like, subscribe, and check out riot.radiou.com for even more riot.